Record. Right, guys, we are going live. I am just going to put the other lines on mute, guys, just so that there's no feedback coming back. Everyone's already done that already. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Just get rid of that. All righty. So tonight we want to cover building your Herbalife house. And this was something that was, instrumentally taught by Mark Hughes way back in the beginning. It's something that was really drummed into me when I first got started, that you want to build your Herbalife house. And there's a few reasons why you want to build your Herbalife house. And what building your Herbalife house, what it basically means is that you're turning over 2,500 volume points a month. Okay, so that every month you're turning over that 2,500 volume points for your own consumption, through retailing, and obviously providing the clients that you got. And you want to build it up to that. And the reason you want to do that as fast as you possibly can is because it'll keep you in a sustainable point of being able to run this as a business. Because at 2,500 volume points a month, you know that there's enough money coming in to run your business. There might be not a huge amount left over to go spend on cars and boats and holidays with the kids and stuff. But what it does is it gives you the cash flow to now start to duplicate your business and build the royalty check, which is what ultimately you want to do. You want to build a residual income. If you want to treat Herbalife like a regular job and run it like a shop, that's no problem. But the only problem with running it like that is it becomes like a job. And a job is like a wheelbarrow. You pick it up on Monday and you push it all week and you put it down Friday. You have your 2 days off. Then come Monday, you pick the wheelbarrow back up again. You run all week with it. You put it down Friday, have your 2 days off, and it just goes on and on and on. By building a residual income, it allows you to work your own hours when you want to work them. It allows you to have the flexibility to do what you want, when you want, with your family, whenever you want, and ultimately gives you financial freedom, which for everybody is different. So I'm not going to put a figure on it, because for some people, financial freedom might be a couple of $1,000s a month. For other people, it could be a couple of thousand a week. For others, it could be a couple of thousand a day. It's different for everybody. So you've got to work that part out. But let's just talk about a couple of little things here that are going to help you get your business set up, and why you want to build this in such a way that it becomes totally duplicatable, because you want to build a duplicatable business. One thing to remember, that when you're in direct sales, network marketing, multi-level marketing, whatever title you want to give it, to me, it's business. Business is business. Whether you run a shop, whether you're a plumber, a hairdresser, a Herbalife distributor, you're in business. And one thing that you do need to do, though, in this type of industry is it doesn't matter what works. It only matters what duplicates. Because the whole idea of this business is to duplicate so that anybody can do it. And if what you're doing is working really well for you, but not working for anybody else, I wouldn't do it. I only do things that I know are duplicatable so that anybody can duplicate what I'm doing. If I was doing something that was, completely, what's the word I'm looking for? But specialized, let's say it's specialized, and no one can duplicate it, then you haven't got a business that's going to grow. It's just going to be your business. Your personal volume is going to do great, but no one else is going to grow. So you want to make sure what you're doing is duplicatable. Always remember that there's 3 things that Herbalife offers. So when I'm talking to people, whether it's friends, family, people that have come off my advertising, people that I'm just meeting out and about, there's 3 things that I always know in my mind. Number 1, that Herbalife can give you great, sustainable health through intelligent nutrition. There's no 2 ways about that. Everybody wants to be healthy. Most people want to be healthy. I don't think anybody wakes up in the morning and go, well, I just want to be fat, lazy, and die really young. Don't think too many people wake up and that's the terminology that they use. But through their choices of bad habits and not eating this and maybe eating too much of that and having chocolate in bed at night and maybe too many pizzas and too much junk food and too much alcohol, eventually people end up 5 kilos, 10, 20, 30, 50 kilos overweight. Not that they plan to go and do that. That's just how it happened over a period of time, making some small bad choices every single day. So it stands to reason that if you can make some small bad choices every day that lead you one way, that if you make small good choices every day, they'll lead you another way. And so what Herbalife is able to do is provide substantial nutrition, sustainable nutrition in and around clean eating that allows you to enjoy the best of health that you possibly can. And, you know, I look at my health now at 52 to what it was when I was 18, 19 and in my 20s, and even in my early 20s when I just started Herbalife, to see how I feel now to how I was feeling back then, it's chalk and cheese. You know, 30 years of great health, great vitality, very rarely get sick. And if I do, it might be just a bit of a head cold for a day or two. But, you know, I've never had, you know, never can I remember in 33 years me ever going, oh my God, I've been so sick for a week. I've got this cold, this flu, I'm sick. It just doesn't happen when you're on the products. It just doesn't happen. So the products can provide that for people. And I know that when I'm going out and talking to people, I know that every single person, if they got on the product, they would benefit and move to a new level of health. I know that every single time. The second thing that we offer is an opportunity for anybody, young, old, black, white, green, blue, you know, any nationality, any, you know, belief, you know, whatever your personal beliefs are with religion or whatever, makes no difference in Herbalife, right? Anybody from any walk of life can earn a supplementary or part-time income with Herbalife because it's something that anybody can pick up. It only costs you $80 or so to get registered, so less than $100 US. So anybody can afford to get started from right where they are and earn a little sideline income. Get some hustle on the side, we call that. You know, Jim Rohn used to say, what have you got going on the side building your fortune while you're working your 9-to-5 job making a living? And for most of us, and that's what it was for me, I was working my 9-to-5 job. And at the summit, I'm going to go through some of my numbers of what happened to me in my first couple of years. But those first 2 years, you know, I was working my full-time job, paying my bills, but I was hustling and building my Herbalife business on the side with the ultimate goal that instead of it just being a part-time income, which it was, and it was going great, part-time cash, more than happy with that. But for me, it was number three. Number three was always what I wanted. I wanted financial security. I wanted a career that I could sink my teeth into, something that I could believe in and something that I could run with because I didn't have a plan B. I was a bartender. So, you know, I didn't have a career. I didn't have a trade. I wasn't a tradie. I didn't have, you know, I wasn't a carpenter. I wasn't a plumber. I wasn't a school teacher. I wasn't a nurse. I didn't have a trade to fall back onto if I decided I just wanted to do Herbalife part-time. All I had was I was a bartender. And, you know, I didn't want to be a bartender, you know, for 50 years, that's for sure. So financial security is the third thing that we offer. So for me, I know these are three things that I can offer the marketplace every single day when we go out and share the Herbalife opportunity. So our business is very, very simple. If somebody wants to make a part, taking the products as a given, right? All of you guys are already doing that. You've all experienced the products. My advice is stay on them. Just stay on them for the rest of your life. Incorporate them into your food, incorporate them into your diet, incorporate them into your part of your food budget. You know, for us, we know we spend X amount on, you know, Herbalife, and there's X amount for shopping to buy bread and milk and potatoes and food and steak and chicken. But Herbalife makes up part of our food menu in our house. That's just how it is. And I strongly recommend you do that for long-term health. To make a part-time income, it's simple. Use the results, use the products. Don't just take them, use them. You know, I know lots of people that take Herbalife products. They don't necessarily look that different. They don't necessarily have a great result on the product because they're not using the products to get a great result. They're taking it, but they're also eating all this other stuff over here and drinking all this other stuff over here. So they're not getting the best result that they can. You want to use the products so that you have a really good, you know, physical result on the product for you, but also for your business so that when you're talking to people, you can show them a before and after picture, okay? And you can tell them what's happened to you. Now, whether that's 5 kilos, 2 kilos, 20 kilos, that's not the issue. The issue is how you feel about what's happened to you on the product. So we use the products to get a level 10 result, and that's level 10 for you. Everybody's different. Not everybody wants to go to the gym, but most people would love to be in a state of health where they feel really good. That's level 10. Okay, whether you're hitting the gym or not, that's whatever your story is. The second thing that we do is we build a client base to a level of income that we're looking for each week. So, for example, some people might say, listen, I'd love to have an extra $10,000 a year coming into the household, because that means that 10 grand can go onto our mortgage, or that 10 grand can go towards, our holidays, or it can go towards the school fees, whatever it happens to be. And you can be still working your full-time job, okay? You're still working your 9-to-5 job, but you're building your little Herbalife business on the side, okay? And it might be a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is. You can have this little sideline income that's making you 10, 15, 20 grand a year after year after year after year. And all you've got to do is build a client base, look after those clients, and find enough clients that want to stay on the products for life, okay? And if you lose 5 clients, go and find 5 more, okay? If you're getting those clients registered as members so that they get their discount so they can get the products cheaper, then you might need a few more clients to get to the level of income that you want. But you guys get what I mean there. You build a business, a client base, the size that you need to substantiate what you want to make per week, per month, per year. 10 grand a year, $800 a month, $200 a week. Maybe you're going to need 10 or 15 clients. I don't know, depending on what those clients are buying. To create financial freedom. Now, again, I said that this is different for everybody, because everybody's level of financial freedom is different. So it's whatever it is to you. Could be 2 grand a month, 5 grand a month, 5 grand a day, 5 grand an hour. I don't know, whatever it happens to be. But you do the same 2 things. You use the products to get a level 10 result, obviously. You build your Herbalife house, your clients, right, to what you're looking to get from that. And the third thing that you do is you recruit and you teach other people how to make a part-time income. It's as simple as that, okay, depending on their goals. Now, their goals might be that they want financial freedom. So if that was the case, then they would be recruiting and teaching and training, and you would be duplicating your business, okay? I'm sure most of you had watched a little bit on the weekend from the honours of what's going on around the world with the honours and all the new president's team and the Chairman's Club members. Each and every one of those people at some point had to make their first shake. Each and every one of those people at some point had to talk to their very first client. Each one of those people at some point had to talk to their very first member. See, everybody goes through their first. I had to have my first shake. And you guys have got it lucky, because the shake today tastes amazing. You should have tried it 30 plus years ago. It was disgusting. I was 21. I never had a blender. So I just threw it in a cup and I tried to stir it. Now, even this shake today, if you stir it, most of it will dissolve. Back then, it didn't dissolve. It just went into big clumps. So when you drank it, you got big mouthfuls of clump, and you'd bite into it and it would be dry powder. So it wasn't a fantastic shake back then, but the results were the same. If you took it, even though it wasn't the greatest tasting product in the world, you lost weight, you felt great, you got energy, and everybody was getting results. Bit harder to sell back then than what it is today, but you get my drift, okay? So it's a very simple, extremely powerful business, but here's the situation we all find ourselves in, because anything that is simple to do is also simple not to do. It's very simple to go out and mow your back lawn. It's also really simple just to leave it, go to the beach and have fun and let the lawn grow, okay? It's pretty simple to do the washing after you had your dinner. Get in there and wash it, put it in the dishwasher. I tell my kids it's pretty simple to do. It's just as simple to leave it in the sink as it is to put it in the dishwasher. So things that are simple to do are also simple not to do. So the simplicity of this business, sometimes because it's so simple, we don't do the basics every day because it's like, oh, well, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do it later. And because it's so simple to do, you don't put a lot of emphasis on it and you tend to let it slide by. So let's talk about building your Herbalife house. And your first Herbalife house is where you're turning over about 2.5 to 2,500 volume a month. That's the goal. Now, the reason we say 2,500 is simple. As you start to build your business, you want to be eligible to get your royalty checks. And to get your full 5% of your royalty, you need to be turning over 2,500 volume points a month. If you only do 2,000 royalty points a month, you only get 4% of your royalty. If you only do 1,500, 3% of your royalty. If you only do 1,000, 2% of your royalty. Okay, and 500, 1% of your royalty. So the reason we want you to build your Herbalife house is because it keeps you in a sustainable business mode. Okay, because there's cash flow coming in. So let's talk a little bit about what the big, and these, this is just a concept, all right? Don't worry about the numbers because some people use more volume than others. I've got a family of 5. We use a lot more than 500 volume points. Trust me, a lot more than 500 volume points. So it's different for everybody. You might be a single person, so you might only be using 200 volume points, okay? So don't get too phased out about the numbers. Just understand that part of your Herbalife house is from you consuming the products. We just say between 2 and 500. You want to be going and getting yourself some new customers every month. Now, we say 5 to 7 is a really good goal, right? If you can average 5 or 7 clients a month, you are absolutely flying. But if you're getting 1 or 2, you're in the game. If you're getting 2 or 3, you're getting some good momentum. Because if you're getting, the reason we say 5 to 7, it's 1 client a week. Let's say it's 4, okay? 4. 1 client a week, 52 clients a year. Take 2 weeks off for holiday. That's 50 people a year that you could go out and get on the products. Just 1 person a week. So it's not rocket science. But let's say it's between 5 and 7. So again, 5 to 700 volume is going to come in from your new retail clients. You're then going to have some existing clients. Now, if you're brand new in the business, right, this is your first month, you won't have any existing clients yet because they're all still in the first month. So your existing clients is what comes after your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th month, right? And obviously that will continue to grow and grow and grow. I've got people in here in my existing client and VPs, they've been ordering product for 30 years, 25 years, 26 years, 20 years, 18 years. People that are still buying product after all that time. It's just incredible, Then your third one is your new partners or your active members. Now remember, a VIP member is someone that's got a members pack to get registered. Doesn't necessarily mean they want to do the business. They may have just got registered to get the products cheaper. No problems at all. I call them a VIP member. They've brought their membership, and the only reason they brought their membership is because they want to get their products cheaper. No problems. They go in this room here. Okay, they go as what I call a VIP client, VIP member. New members and active members, these are people down here that actively want to make a part-time income. So they're people that they've brought their membership package and they have a goal, which is to go out and get some clients and start to make a part-time income. Now, you might be adding 2 to 5 members a month to your business. 2 to 5 is a great goal, right? If you're adding 5, your business is cranking along. If you're signing up 5 members a month, your get team in the next 12 to 18 months, no ifs or buts. That's just a given. But if you're recruiting 1 or 2 a month, you're going to start to get some substantial rollover business from that. 2 this month, 2 next month, 2. Before you know it, you got 10 or 15. Now 1 or 2 are starting to pop through as supervisor. So you've got a couple of, 2 to 500 of volume a month coming in from there. Then you've got your new members and your active members. Now, these are people that are active. Sorry, I've just got this bug flying around. It's annoying me. They're actively going out and getting clients. So they may have done a shake party. Maybe they've got their mum on the products, their sister, their brother, a couple of work colleagues. So you're training them and helping them to look after their clients, right? They're doing it all. They're looking after their own clients. You're not doing that. You're just, training them and supporting them, how to do the follow-up. You're getting them onto the calls and stuff. So they're learning all this as they go along. but you're going to have, anywhere again from, maybe 5 or 10 people. Now, building this Herbalife house could take 3 months, could take you 6 months, could take you 12 months. It's entirely up to you. Okay, I'm going to go through some of my numbers at the summit, but it took me consistently, I reckon it was about 9 months before I was consistently doing 2.5 every single month, and then I've never missed since, right? And then I started doing 4s and 5s and 6s, which I'll show you, later on. But you want to get to that point as fast as you possibly can, okay? And then you've got what we call the garage, which is your organizational volume. So this is people that are super active. You may have someone that's doing the member activation program. So they've done their 500 volume in 1 month, right? Now remember, 3 months of 500 volume qualifies them as what we call an active member. They get the beautiful Herbalife blender, and they're well on their way to going supervisor very quickly. Remember, going supervisor, someone has to achieve 4,000 volume points over 1, 2, or 12 months. So you might have some people in here that you've sponsored. They've done 500 volume, and they're actively now getting clients every single month. And it doesn't take long before somebody in here, 2, 3, 4 months down the track, right, becomes a supervisor. Because once you've built your Herbalife house, you now can teach that, right? You're teaching it, and you're teaching it as you go along. See, when you first get started, you might only be consuming the products and you might only have 1 or 2 clients. Well, guess what? You now know enough to be able to get a member, teach them how to take the products, and teach them how to get 1 or 2 clients. That's it. That's all you need to do, because that's all you're doing. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Some of your clients the second month will be repeating. So now you can also teach your member how to do the follow-up and how to get repeat orders. And now your member moves down into this area here. So now your third room is starting to grow. Now you've got a member that's got a couple of clients. They're starting to get some volume going here. Next month, you're getting some more customers. You might have some more repeat customers. You might have another 1 or 2 members here, and you may have another couple of members here that have got their first 2 or 3 clients. See how it goes month after month? So your goal should be to build your Herbalife house. Every month it should be going up. Now, whether that's by 50 volume points, 100 volume points, 200 volume points, that's up to you. Okay, that is really up to you. Okay, but you want it so that each month it's going up a little bit. Now, are there months where it will drop down? Yes, there is. Because what will happen is, you've got to remember, all this volume is counting towards your 2,500. But if you have somebody here that all of a sudden does their 4,000, maybe it's taken them 3 months, 6 months, whatever, okay? I try to help people get to supervisor in that sort of 90-day period. That's what I like. I like 1 or 2 months the most, obviously, because that means they're active and they're moving. But if it can happen in that sort of 3 to 4 month period, then they've got some very good momentum happening there. Now, if I've got a guy down here that's doing 500 or 600 volume a month, okay, and all of a sudden he goes supervisor, well, that 500 volume is no longer part of my Herbalife house. It's now part of his Herbalife house, okay? It was part of his Herbalife house here as well, but now he's a supervisor. He breaks off and starts to build his own Herbalife house. That volume that I was getting here, I no longer get, because now it becomes part of my organizational volume. So let's say I was doing 2,500 through all of this, but 500 of that volume was coming from this guy here who's now gone supervisor. Well, I've just lost 500 volume out of that. So you need to be actively bringing new people in or building these 2 rooms, okay? You want to be bringing new blood in all the time, because not everybody's going to stay on the products. Not everybody's going to stay as a member. Some people are going to drop off. But in actual business terms, this room here, your existing clients and your new members, those numbers should be growing. And they should be growing and growing and growing. And eventually, this room and this room will become your 2 biggest rooms, to the point where this may even drop back a little bit because you've got so much of this and so much of that. But I've always tried to take people through the rooms. My new client here, I want them to get registered. I absolutely want them to get registered. What I say to all my clients is, obviously, your first month is at retail. On your second month, if you're loving the products, you can get registered as a member. They get registered as a member. I say, listen, obviously, Mary, now you're on 25%. My goal is to get you to 50% and in the best shape of your life. I want you eating this product at the cheapest possible price, and the cheapest possible price is supervisor at 50%. So I'm going to do my best to take Mary from here into this room, into this room, into this room, into this room, and then have her become a supervisor. That's the ultimate goal. And I'm aiming to do that with everybody. Now, if they want to stay in this room, no problem at all. I've got a whole bunch of people in this room. If they want to stay in this room, no problems at all. I've got a whole bunch of people in this room. What I'm identifying, though, every month is people that I can take through this process into becoming supervisors. That's how you build a residual income. And then from there, to earn royalties, you're now doing your $2,500. You now help your partners build their homes. Okay? Part of my day is helping my organization build their Herbalife house. When I'm doing calls with you guys one-on-one, my ultimate goal is to help you get your business up to where you're turning over that 2,500 volume points a month. Why? Because it's sustainable business. It means you can stay in business, you're earning some income, and you now know how to teach the Herbalife house. Now, you can teach that Herbalife house at any point. The minute you got one customer, you can teach the Herbalife house. Because write this one down, this is important. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Because you only have to know step A to teach step A. And once you know step B, then you can teach step A and B. And once you know step C, you now can teach step A, B, and C. But guess what? You don't need to know A, B, and C before you teach A. You just need to know A. And if you're getting a couple of clients, then you're in a position, whether you think you are or not, you are. So have some self-confidence. You're in a position to be able to go, hey, Mary, let me show you how I got my first 2 clients. Mary might have been one of your clients. Mary, how did I get you? You know, I came and saw you. I told you about the products. You said you wanted them. You jumped on them. You've lost 5 kilos. You're doing great. Now you're a member. Fantastic, Mary. Who do you know that we can go and share that story with? And you duplicate. Now you're helping your partners build their house. And you want to pick 3. Help 3 people. Help 3 people build their Herbalife house. And then duplicate that. Now you want to help your partners help their partners build their house. So there's you. You've now helped 3 people. You're now helping them help their 3 people build their Herbalife house. You're starting to duplicate. You're starting to build an organization. You're starting to build a business, okay? More than just a retail business. You're now starting to build a residual business, a royalty income, okay? And as that grows, you help your partners build their houses. And you just keep duplicating this. So the great thing about Herbalife, the concept is very, very simple. Use the products, be branded in some way, talk to people, help people get a great result on the product. When they've got a great result on the product, who else do you know that we can help? And help them that way. Use the products, wear the brand, talk to people, get somebody as a member, show them how to get 1 or 2 clients, which you've already done. So just teach them how to do that. Teach them how to get those clients to become members. Teach them how to find a member that might want to make some income. And you just keep duplicating. And you just do it day in, day out, month in, month out, year in, year out. And your business will continue to grow as long as you keep moving, right? That's how you build a residual income. This is in your members pack, and you can take a screenshot of this one. I've just put Carmen and my photo in there because these are the examples of what you can look at. So, for example, let's say going back here, right, getting your Herbalife houses. right? This is what we're talking about. You help 2 supervisors get to where they're now doing their 2,500, and they help 2 supervisors get to where they're doing their 2,500. So you've got 2 supervisors on your first level, 4 supervisors on your second level, 8 supervisors on your third level. So that's a total of 14 supervisors doing their 2,500. So it's about 28,000, 30,000 volume in turnover. It's about a $4,000 check. Okay, at that example there. Now, if you were doing this part-time, right, and I got pretty close to this part-time around my full-time job. Before I left my full-time job, and I'm going to go through this at the summit, it took me 18 months. In the first 12 months, I didn't do any recruiting. I was just retailing the product. Okay, and I'll go through these numbers in detail at the summit. But over the next 18 months, I was recruiting and I was helping people build their business. And I went from 0 organizational volume to 40,000 organizational volume made up of my supervisors in 18 months while still working my full-time job. So who can do that? Anybody can do that. If I can do it as a bartender around a full-time job, it had nothing to do with my skill set. Had nothing to do with my skill set whatsoever. Whatever skills I had, I learned them in Herbalife. Okay, I was a bartender. But what I did was I talked to people about the products. I talked to people about the opportunity to make some extra income if they were interested in that. And the ones that were interested in that, I identified 2 or 3 key people that wanted more than just, an extra 10 or 20 grand a year. They wanted to make a substantial amount of money. And then it just grows. Now, instead of getting 2 supervisors, let's say you do 3. So this is global expansion team here. This is what we call the global expansion team. This is what we call the millionaires team. And in this level here, you've got 39 supervisors doing their 2,500. Okay. And in president's team over here, you've got 155 supervisors. 5 on your first line. That's 5 that you've got, but you're duplicating. Remember, this is a duplicating business. It's not a one-off business. It's not just you opening your door Saturday morning, selling some product, shutting the door, opening the door, selling some product, shutting the door. This is building a residual income so that the cash flow is constant and business is going constant. So you can pick wherever you want to be on here. But the key is, in all of these examples, is building your 2,500 house. Okay? Doing it. Because as I said before, it's sustainable. It means that you're going to stay in business while you're building your business. You're not going to go broke. If all of a sudden you're only doing 300, 400, 500 volume, plus you're using the product, you're going to struggle after 1 or 2 years of that if there's no cash flow coming in. But if you're turning over your 2.5, right, and you've got to that point and you keep bringing people in and you keep educating people on the products and you keep educating people on the business opportunity and you keep duplicating, then eventually, guess what? The royalty starts to grow. And in the beginning, and I'll share this at the summit, you're going to cop a lot more at the summit. My first royalty check was like $72. And it took me a year before I even got that. So there's a lot of you guys way in front of me of where I was at the same level of you, right? So rest assured the best is yet to come, because if you keep doing what you're doing and you keep duplicating, the way the business is today, it's going to grow 2, 3, 5, 10 times faster. The only advantage that we had back then that you got a disadvantage today is the distractions. And I'm not talking family, I'm not talking work, because we had all that back then. I'm talking this crap, okay? The phone, okay? Facebook, Instagram. Now, if you're using your phone and you're using Facebook and Instagram as a business tool, it can make you a fortune. But if you're using it as a time waster, looking how everybody else is living their life and wishing that was your life, and you're doing this, and you're liking that and you're liking this and you're doing that, but you're not actually creating any business on there, that is a major distraction. A major distraction. This, for me, is a business tool. That's what it is. I use Facebook and Instagram as a business tool. Now, do I use social on it as well? Of course I do. But I can tell you right now, out of my 100%, 80% of my time on Facebook and Instagram is generating business. 20% is mucking around with mates, talking to family, blah, 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 doing that sort of stuff. But I don't spend 100% of my 2 or 3 hours a day just scrolling and liking and thinking it's funny and having funs and laughs. If you want to do that, no problems at all. But if you want to use social media to help build your business, stick to the 80-20 rule. I use the 80-20 rule in so many things because it was drummed into me. 80% versus 20%. With exercise and fitness, right? 80% of your results will come from your diet. 20% of your results will come from your exercise. So make sure your diet's right. In business, okay, 80% of your business will come from 20% of the people. And 20% of the people will want 80% of your time. So you've got to learn where to spend your 80%. Jess Morgan, who's a master on Facebook and Instagram, said, Andrew, it's real simple. Spend 80% of your time on Facebook and Instagram doing business and 20% doing fun. Same on with your personal wall. It shouldn't just be all Herbalife. There's got to be family and life and lifestyle in there. And I don't use, if you watch my Facebook, and I'm not great on social media. I'm an old dog. God, I'm 52 trying to figure out how to still use Instagram, right? But what I have figured out is this, that you're better off just showing your lifestyle and all positive stuff than you are negative crap. And unfortunately, I see some people's Facebook and I look at it and go, you're wondering why you're not getting any business? Have you seen your Facebook? Have you seen the stuff that you're liking? Have you seen the stuff that you're commenting on? Are you seeing some of your own posts? Oh, whinging and whining and complaining. But then the next day, oh my God, life is fantastic. And then the next day, oh bloody, blah, blah, blah. No, you're up and down like a yo-yo. At the end of the day, if you're having a bad day, keep it to yourself. Not everybody needs to know about it, especially not on social media. Okay? Be smart about it. Be smart about what you're presenting on your social media because it represents you. And I would like to think that when people look at my social media and then they meet me, it's very similar. It's not, oh my God, that's not the Andrew Foote I saw on social media. Who's this guy? It's totally different to this guy. Quentin Revere said something that stuck with me so well. He said, stay true to your story. Stay true to who you are. I'm a bit of a larrikin. I have a bit of fun. So my Facebook shows that. Okay. But you'd only have to look at my Facebook and Instagram and know that I'm 100% into my family. I'm 100% into living a healthy, active lifestyle. I'm 100% into Herbalife. I'm 100% into trying to be positive and help people. You only have to look at my Facebook to see that, okay? And when you meet me, I'm hoping I'm the same type of person. So just make sure that, your social media represents you. Don't know how we got on from that tangent about social media, but anyway. Distractions. So, you guys have got a lot more distractions today than what we had back then, because back then it was just family and stuff, which you've still got today. But back then we didn't have Instagram, internet, emails, mobile phones, so we couldn't get distracted. When we were out talking to people and doing business, we didn't have this ringing in our pocket every 30 seconds, And for most people, when this rings in your pocket, what's the first thing you do? You go get it. You could be talking to someone, hey, how you doing? You having a nice day? Oh, my phone's ringing. Hang on, this person's more important than you. Oh, no, sorry, mate, from India. And you hang it up. And you've just spoken to a sales clerk from India trying to sell you something over the phone when you were having a personal conversation with someone. But the minute you picked up the phone, you just said, hang on, you're not as important as this phone call. Let it ring. If anything else, put your hand in the button and hit the silent button. Don't answer it. Okay? I'm looking over here as if I'm talking to my phone. Anyway, you get my point. Let's move along. Retail menu, recruiting menu. It's exactly the same. So whatever you do to retail is exactly the same stuff that you do to recruit. There's nothing different. They're exactly the same. You just change the conversation. If you're talking to people about the business, you can do it through all those ways. If you're talking about, the product, you do it through this way. You're just changing your conversation. Sometimes I'm talking product, sometimes I'm talking business. Today I was out just doing some flyers and I was talking business to some people and I was talking product to others. Depends what I was, where I was and what I had in my hand at the time, and just however the conversation went. Some conversations go more towards the product, some conversations go more towards the business. So I'm easy. I'm just there to expose them to Herbalife and what's available. So my advice with any of this stuff here, pick 2 or 3, okay? Or 3 or 4, actually. We say, have a stable table, 4 legs of a table. If you're only doing 1 or 2 things, then your business is really wonky. So pick 3 or 4 things out of this that you're prepared to do consistently, daily, right, with some form of intensity and intention, right? Go out with some intention, doing this stuff, and you're going to do absolutely great, whichever one it is. It doesn't really matter which 3 or 4 it is. And last but not least, because we need to wrap up the call, to build your business a global expansion team, you really need to get to as many local events as you can. Now, as many as you can get, whatever your show up calendar is. Maybe it's once a month, maybe it's once every 60 days, that's up to you. But the more you get to, the quicker it's all going to work. You definitely want to get to some international events. For me, if you're a business builder and really want to move, the STS should be a non-negotiable. It's once a month, guys. 12 events a year, please. We're talking about changing your financial future, talking about changing your family's life, and it's one commitment once a month. Figure it out. I had to, okay? And you just got to figure that stuff out for yourself, right? But the more events you get to, the faster your business is going to grow, the more rock solid you're going to be, the more stronger you're going to be, the better you're going to be at the business. But then there's just a flow chart that you take people through, from an invitation into a fit club, a shake party, HOM, whatever it is. You're just taking them through the flow. Now, some people will stop here, some people will stop here, some people will stop here, some here, some here, some here. You just keep, but notice that the biggest portion is the inviting. That's the biggest job you got, inviting. The flow happens automatically. You've just got to do the invitation part. Now, whether that's the people you know or don't know, that makes no difference, okay? And that's really the flow online. So you can take a screenshot of that if you want. Invitation into some form of a presentation, from a presentation into getting some education, learning about the business. And from there, they get, involved in the business. They start to get some customers. They start to get what I call herbalized. They understand the marketing plan. They start to understand the business. And this doesn't happen in 30 days, okay? It can take somebody 3, 4, 5, or 6 or 7 months before they get it all straight in their head. I'm still learning now, okay? It's an ongoing thing, guys. You never stop learning and you never stop growing. The minute you think you know everything in this business, that's a serious mistake you're making, okay? Because I am miles away from knowing everything about this business, okay? I do know how to do my activity every day, which I keep doing, and I know eventually that just keeps building and building and building and building. So make sure you've got your flow chart on how you want that to run. And I reckon that might be it. So guys, I'm just going to stop right here. Thanks for listening in. And for those of you that are watching the recording, look forward to seeing you at the next event. Hang on, just can't find the stop button now. Stop recording.